So, since we all know what is next for Sean Brady, likely a shot against Shavkat Rakhmonov, or maybe even a straight up title shot, but maybe not. They may just run Sean Brady against maybe Joaquin Buckley for a title shot after Shavkat's title shot. Who really knows what the UFC has in store for that? But I want to take attention from Sean Brady, who I do love and adore, and I'm really excited about his win last weekend. I want to move from Sean Brady to Leon Edwards. Now, I'm not a fan of Leon. I haven't said many positive things about Leon Edwards. I still want to talk about what is next for him. What is next for Leon? The middle of the fucking division. Bye bye. Bye bye. Out of the top few. Back to the middle of the division. What Leon Edwards did was great. He had a lucky knockout against Kamaru Usman. I'm not trying to be too harsh, but come on, man. That was like a fucking shot in the dark. And he made it. He became champ. He defended it against Colby Covington, who became washed the minute he fought Kamaru Usman again for the second time. Outside of that, I mean, he did rematch with Kamaru and beat him a second time. So, Leon Edwards is skilled. He's skilled. He's just not skilled for today's welterweight division. That's really it. A lot of the top welterweights are going to be well-rounded guys. Really well-rounded guys that have really, really, really strong ground game and at least great striking. At least great striking. And those three guys that off the top of my head are Sean Brady, Bilal Muhammad, and Shavkat Rakhmonov. Three well-rounded guys. Shavkat, not so much as Sean Brady and Bilal, but still decently well-rounded. His striking is there, But Leon Edwards is a striker, He plays at grappling. He's not a baby in the woods when it comes to grappling. Like, he's not going to be immediately submitted, but still, he's not a strong grappler. And then on top of everything, he's got really weak mental strength. He's got really weak mental strength. He's inclined. He has an inclination toward just kind of sulking and melting away, just mentally checking out. Especially if he's being taken down and dominated on the ground. He just checks out. There's no fight in him after that. He's lacking that JDM mentality when it comes to his capability and his striking and his style, because JDM is more of a boxer than a grappler. And Gilbert Burns, when he fought JDM, was whooping JDM for the way better part of that fight. For the much larger part of that fight, Gilbert Burns was whooping JDM, especially on the ground. And then out of nowhere, JDM scrambles. He does not give up hope. He gets out of Gilbert's control and proceeds to finish Gilbert before the fight ends. That's championship spirit. It's championship spirit. It's strong mental state. It's knowing that the fight is not over until the final fucking second. The fight is not over. I'm still in it. I'm still gunning for a win. I'm still here. I'm still striving for victory. And that's what JDM did. And that's what Leon Edwards seems to never do. Leon Edwards got finished for the first time in his career last weekend against Sean Brady. Leon broke apart. He fell apart so bad that Sean was able to just fucking, lay on top of him and somehow but lay on top of him and inevitably find a guillotine, to which he cranked real hard on, and Leon had to tap, or else he was going to be fucking asleep and possibly convulsing. So them's the breaks for Leon Edwards. That's really the bottom line about what I'm trying to say here. Do I see him working his way back to a title? No. Will we see Leon soon? No. And again, it just plays to what I've been saying, which is Leon's weak mental state. Leon sulks. Leon gets his feelings hurt by losing. He's going to disappear again. He might disappear for even longer. I don't really know. Since he lost to Bilal, he went off the map. He went off the map. He might do it again. Scratch that. He will do it again. Will he still fight? Of course. He's not fucking retiring. He lost. He's obviously going to be propelled further away from the belt. And like I said, probably towards the middle of the division. And, you know, he'll pick up from there. We'll see where it could go from there. Maybe fight a couple guys, a couple up-and-coming welterweights and be propelled back up. Who knows? Somebody was talking about Carlos Prates probably calling out Leon, which would then, you know, propel Prates up to title contention maybe. Because Leon isn't like a can. I'm not saying he's a can now, but he's going to be propelled farther from the title, obviously, you know. And that's going to lead to up-and-comers at welterweight calling him out, like Carlos Prates might. And if Carlos Prates ends up fighting Leon, Leon might be fucked once again, you know, because Carlos isn't a grappler per se, but Carlos has really, really scary power. The way he knocked out Neil Magny was absolutely fascinating because he barely fucking touched Magny. And the minute he just grazed the corner of Magny's head, Magny went fucking slumped. So I'm scared. I would be scared of Carlos Prates, you know, if I had an upcoming fight with him. However, Geoff Neal is no pushover. And, you know, it's not crazy to say that Geoff Neal does get the job done and beats Carlos Prates because Geoff Neal's power is nasty as hell. So, you know, Geoff Neal could take it and throw it back too. So that'll be a fun fight to see as well. But overall, Leon Edwards not going to be put in the title conversation for quite some time. Maybe even more time if Leon decides to just fucking go off the grid again for another half a year or something like that, you know. But it was good while it lasted. He got a chance to touch UFC gold. He was champ for a while. He had a crazy knockout against Kamaru Usman that is still being talked about today. He accomplished his dream. You know, he'll always have that belt touch, that chance to touch a UFC gold. A lot of great fighters have never had that chance to touch official, you know, undisputed UFC gold. Not a lot of fighters have done that. Dustin Poirier has not done that. You know, I think interim, but no undisputed. So you know, Michael Chandler too. I think Michael Chandler's never been undisputed. I think Tony Ferguson, Cowboy Cerrone, like a lot of great UFC legends who have never been champs. So you know, Leon can at least say he was champ. Wish him well. Again, not a fan, but I respect anybody who makes the walk to the octagon. He was a warrior. He made the walk. Look at me. I'm talking like he's retired. He's not retiring. He's still going to be in fights. Like I said, Carlos Prates might end up fighting him. That'll be a fun fight to see. But it will be a while before we see Leon Edwards ever be put in the same conversation as a title shot again, if it ever happens, because it may not even ever happen again. But overall, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Above all, make sure you turn your notifications on for my YouTube channel. Stay caught in the loop. Stay up to date. Most importantly, turn them notifications on, but also like and subscribe. I love you guys. I'll see you all in the next.